Welcome into Double Up. I'm your host, Dubs Anderson. You're watching along FanDuel Racing, and this will be your number one spot for your sports and sports wagering action. I'm going to do my best to get you up to speed. If there's a race, a horse, a runner, a prop, a team, an athlete with value behind their name or number, I'm going to tell you about it so we can hopefully make a couple of bucks together, and that's what this is all about here on Double Up. It's a collaboration. It's best bets. It's a round table. It's everything going on in the sports betting landscape, and it doesn't get much better this week, much bigger this week or this year than the Breeders' Cup World Championship. So a big focus for us on today's episode will be towards the sport of horse racing with day 2 of the Breeders' Cup coming up Saturday afternoon. But I'm going to do my best to get you around the grounds, everything you need to know. The World Series is a wrap. The trophy's headed back out here to the West Coast, Best Coast. It's early doors in the NBA, but a couple of teams who've exceeded the betting expectations early, and I think we can still jump on and find a bit of value behind those big threats. In the NFL, we're getting set for Week 9. A couple of big injuries coming across, a couple of divisional dances coming up on Sunday afternoon, and plenty of ways that we can jump in and make that money. The FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel Racing, wherever you're watching along from, let's try and make a couple of bucks. So I'm going to go through every game or every big race, just the ones that stand out to me. And of course, if you've got a couple of top selections, a couple of games you're looking at, let your boy know. Let the kids eat. Let us know down below. Like, subscribe, share, comment. If you're tailing, fantastic. If you're going against, even better. We're in this game together. I want to know who you're playing and how you're playing it, because you're going to get my thoughts on all of the above. Let's start with the Breeders' Cup. What is it? For our regular horse players, if you play the ponies, you know what the Breeders' Cup is. It's the World Championships of Horse Racing. 14 championship races, 2 fantastic days down at Del Mar, nestled 10 minutes north of San Diego. It's the best from North America, the best from Japan, Asia, from across the pond in Europe. And I'm going to give you a couple of races, my top 3 races of the Saturday afternoon, race 6 through race 8, the Distaff into the Classic, with winning selections, we hope, but a couple of names that you need to know. A bit of education here in case you missed it so you can get up to speed. $34 million in prize purses. Day 1 is going to be on Friday. It's the Future Stars Friday, Future Stars of tomorrow. By the time you watch this episode of Double Up, we've probably already missed the jump. So we're not going to touch on any of the juvenile races for day 1, more so on day 2. In everything you need to know. So let's jump into it. This is going to be a fast one. It's a quick sprint. That's how your boy does it. All about that early speed. We'll start with race number 6 on Saturday afternoon, the Distaff. The girls, who's going to be standing tall? It was meant to be a showdown between Thorpedo Anna and Idiomatic, and we only get to see one run. It's going to be Thorpedo Anna as the odds on. Probably the biggest favorite over the 2 days of racing. But what could go wrong for such a big favorite? Yes, common theme for me is chasing chaos and chasing that plus money here at the Breeders' Cup. Thorpedo Anna, she's a grizzly, she's a bear. Kenny McPeak hasn't had a good record at the Breeders' Cup, I believe over 37. I'm going to have to check tape. Call me out on that one, but it hasn't been a great record. Now has the superstar in Thorpedo Anna. 4 Group 1s, 4 Grade 1s, I should say. Too much time down under there for your boy. She took on the boys in the Travers, and she almost pulled off an upset for the ages. Back at her division, she is going to be a very tough out. But with that, a lot still has to go in favour. And this is the Breeders' Cup. Every horse is coming ready to play. Every connection knows exactly what they're doing. Every jockey is one of the best in the sport. So don't discount some of these other runners. The other big threat's going to be Raging Sea for Chad Brown. Chad Brown's obviously had a lot of success at the Breeders' Cup prior. And Raging Sea, she's an absolute beast also. 4 wins for 2024 alone. If you look at the top speed figs, really not far off the likes of a Thorpedo Anna. I think could mix it with her on her day, but she's going to have to give us a career best performance. If you're looking to play against, I think the Japanese runners are going to step up in a big way at this year's Breeders' Cup. Awesome result, the 9. Justify filly, but has raced in Japan. 7 starts, 7 wins. the piece of the puzzle is trying to figure out how these international runners stack up, the races that they exit. You can watch as much tape as you want, but it's more about trying to put the merit or the class behind those performances. It's going to be top endorsement for me. Awesome result. The 9 here at, I think will go off at third choice. Should be right around 3-1, 4-1. I'm going to play against Thorpedo Anna. I'm going to be that guy. Hate to say, but I just think there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectation. And for Thorpedo Anna, she's still going to have to run a bang-up performance. Not to say that she's not the one to beat. There's going to be absolutely no value. We love a good storyline, but the public also loves jumping on and playing the favourite. So Thorpedo Anna, happy to be wrong in their spot. Raging Sea should be right there in the mix, but don't sleep on Awesome Result with a step forward. Could be right in the mix here as they hit deep stretch. Race number 7 on Saturday afternoon, the Breeders' Cup Turf, the ultimate test of class and stamina. Aidan O'Brien, considered to be one of the best international trainers in the game, coming across from the UK, and this is a stage in which Aidan has seen plenty of success. He's had 6 wins already here in the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf, and he's got a couple of big threats here, but also sneaking there at a bit of a price. The top international runner, and I believe will go off as your favourite as we scroll down the board here, is Charlie Appleby's runner, Rebels Romance, the 11. Gets William Buick in the irons, was a very impressive Group 1 winner last out, has looked strong going through 2024, can be quite versatile as well. I think Rebels Romance should be the horse to beat here in the turf. Likely going to go off at a short price. Value long shot, Carbo Spirit for George Papapadroma. There's going to be a couple of runners, and I'm sure of this, when we look back, once it's all said and done on Sunday, that we say, wow, I didn't really see that runner coming through, but they've had success out here on the West Coast, on this course in particular before. Carbo Spirit could be one of them. A 2-time winner here on the Del Mar Turf course, sitting there at a big price, 30-1 on the morning line. That's going to be the value long shot sprinkle. Aidan O'Brien, I mentioned, had a lot of success in this race. I think Luxembourg, last couple of starts will scare the bettors off, but don't get it twisted. I've seen that top ceiling for this 5-year-old. A nice Group 1 score earlier this year. Since then, has thrown out a couple of duds, but I think if you're looking for the back speed, the back class, Luxembourg, the 4, absolutely has it in spades and gets Ryan Moore in for your hoop there. So playing against the favourite again, I think the international runners have certainly got this one on lock. And if you're looking outside of that, I know Shariar's got a bit of attention. Emily Upjohn, the 2, with Frankie Dettori aboard for John Gosden, will probably warrant a bit of respect. But for me, Aidan O'Brien gets his 7th win with Luxembourg. That may be one of the biggest prices that we see for an Aidan O'Brien runner, one of Aidan's army, if you will, over the 2 days of racing. Let's turn it to the main event, the Breeders' Cup Classic. It'll be race number 8 on Saturday afternoon. The best thing about the Breeders' Cup is the wagering on offer. For our regular horse players, if you play the bonies, you know, I don't have to tell you, but if you're a sports bettor who maybe dabbles with the NFL, NBA, PGA Tour, this is a weekend that you want to jump in and play. You know, the Kentucky Derbies, you know, your Melbourne Cups. The Breeders' Cup truly is fantastic on the betting side of things. And when you've got so many international runners that haven't raced against each other in the past, that's the unknown. In betting, the unknown equals what? Value. Yes, there you go. That's what we're trying to do here on Double Up. So for me, Breeders' Cup Classic, big storyline is going to be City of Troy coming in. Has looked unstoppable at times. A Justify Colt certainly looks to have the lines to be suited to running on the dirt course, but getting onto a different surface for the very first time. Ba-bow! Playing against City of Troy, no thank you. A red-hot favourite doing something for the first time. Not going to fall into that trap. Happy to be wrong. The public, going to be all about City of Troy. Probably the headliner coming in here for the Breeders' Cup. I just cannot back with confidence. I think the Japanese runners are live here in the Classic. I think Forever Young, who starts from the inside, not a great starting position, but a classy looking type. Yoshito Yahagi, your conditioner. He's won at the Breeders' Cup before. He's won down under the Southern Hemisphere. It was right here at Del Murray. He chalked up 2 big victories in the Breeders' Cup. Forever Young, we saw at the Kentucky Derby, was bested by head. I mean, if things went a little differently, and I think that photo showed us it was a close finish, Forever Young could have been your 2024 Kentucky Derby champion and a really good chance of being a winner here in the Classic. So I love Forever Young out of the Japanese runners coming in for the Classic. I like more so than City of Troy. I think Ushba Tesoro makes a lot of sense to be a top 3 candidate. And I'm going to throw in a price plate. Top endorsement for me coming into the 2024 Breeders' Cup Classic, Sierra Leone. I think a lot of bettors are scared off, saying, well, it's too much Mr. Nice Guy, can't finish off these races. I would make the contrary argument from the other side there. Call me contrarian, but always in the mix. This is a good racehorse. This is a 3-year-old who knows how to put themselves into a race and knows how to be there right in the thick of it once it's said and done. In terms of trying to pass company or competition late, I think we just need the right setup, and I think we could get it here on Saturday in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I love the look of the 11 Sierra Leone, and I feel like I may be the only one, but happy to put the hand up and be wrong in this spot. Give me Sierra Leone in the Breeders' Cup Classic at a big price to run a monster performance as they turn for home in front of, I don't know what the official sellout crowd is going to be, 50, 60,000. They're going to be chanting. They're going to be throwing their Del Margaritas up into the air as they watch Sierra Leone surging toward that finish line. Your boy's going to be there. Are you going? Are you going? Let us know on the socials. We'll catch up for a Del Margarita, maybe a sneaky beer in the mix as well, as we can watch some of these winning wagers. If you're looking to watch FanDuel TV, if you're playing FanDuel Racing, FanDuel Sportsbook. So they're my 3 favorite races on the Saturday afternoon, starting from the Distaff, going into the Classic. What else do we have going on in the sports world? In case you missed it, Dodgers have won the World Series. Took them 5 games. They closed it out over the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. The big takeaway for me, Freddie Freeman, what a guy. What a dude. What a baseball player for the Dodgers there. It also shows if you spend $1 billion in the offseason, you can win a championship. You can win a World Series. I mean, you look at who they had in the mix there. Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Ohtani, Yamamoto. Yankees, arguably right there with them in terms of their roster, but just didn't show up. Momentum in sports, it's a wonderful thing. The Dodgers had it, they carried it, they closed it out in 5 games. Aaron Judge is the villain of New York City. Batman is looking for Aaron Judge because he just did not show up like he did all regular season. He was the guy in the regular season and went missing at a critical time, therefore, the Yankees. In the association, NBA bettors, depending on when you watch this, I don't know what game you're going to catch, but just a quick overview of who's looked really impressive to start the year. Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, this is the smoky of the NBA right now. You've got Garland, you've got Spider Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell still at triple figures for the MVP. I'm just saying, are they going to win it all? Probably don't have the cattle, but they're going to be a tough out, and they will make a lot of dollars. So keep an eye out for Donovan Mitchell. Keep an eye on the Cavs night in, night out. They're going to be a very profitable basketball team early in the season here. Boston Celtics are still good. Jason Tatum has now got his 3-shot. This is what happens when you snub some of the best in the sport at the Olympics. He wasn't happy, comes back. Boston didn't need that motivation in trying to chase another banner. They look like they've got it. Chicago Bulls sneaky good in the East. In the Western Conference, Oklahoma City Thunder, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren. SGA's the shortest price right now at the FD Sportsbook for the MVP, and rightfully so. If you're looking to play these futures markets, make sure your team's going to be chasing the playoffs. And OKC, they're looking to make a deep run in the West. Biggest surprise, Golden State Warriors. With no Klay Thompson, who's looked pretty good over there at the Dallas Mavericks. Golden State Warriors find a way to chalk up victories. They're scoring points. If it's not Steph Curry, it's Buddy Hield, who's been absolutely electric from beyond the arc. Big storyline coming across this week. LeBron James, Lakers, go back to Cleveland, and Bronny James got a couple of minutes and got his first basket in the NBA. Pretty special stuff. It's been a great storyline. I don't know what happens moving forward, if Bronny's going to get more minutes, if they use him as a rotational piece, or maybe goes down to the G League to sort of work on that craft, but you love to see it. A father-son in the same NBA game, back in a building in which LeBron James called home for so long there. It was a special week in the NBA. We're getting set for Week 9 in the National Football League. Chiefs are still undefeated. A couple of big injuries coming across. The big one this week, Stephon Diggs set to miss the rest of the season for the Houston Texans. That is not good. The Jets, well, they still suck. We're probably going to miss Thursday Night Football here, so I'm not giving out a play. I think Aaron Rodgers is getting set to turn it around, but it may be a little too late. Who's making us money? ATS against the spread numbers. 3 best teams in the NFL right now: the Colts, Commanders, and the Detroit Lions. You don't have to win games. You've got to cover games to make us a couple of bucks, and we'll be happy once it's all said and done as we get through this weekend of sports wagering. Buffalo Bills have looked really good on the AFC side. NFC, if you're looking for a futures ticket, NFC West, wide open. Cardinals, 49ers, Seattle, all sitting with 4 wins. It's the Rams I like, 3 wins. They take on the Seahawks this week. I think they roll them. I think they're live, plus 500 in the NFC West. You can punch in that ticket at the FD Sportsbook, but I'd be trying to play it prior to Week 9 getting underway there early on Sunday. A couple of my favorite spread bets and totals. We've got the Dolphins at the Bills. Love the Bills to dominate in this spot. I just think there's too much rust for Tua. The chemistry's not there. They're looking out of sorts. They looked better last week, but the Bills are a really good football team. They've owned Miami 13-1 through the last 14. ATS cover, even with that kind of margin, I think they go past the full touchdown and it'll be closer to a double-digit victory. We've got the Broncos taking on the Ravens. Ravens, one of the best teams in football. They had their wake-up call last week going against the Browns and Jameis Winston. Jameis was always going to step up with a bit of a surprise there. They now get the Broncos. Broncos-Ravens, one of the tougher games of Week 9. I think the Broncos are grabbing too many points. We know the style in which they want to play. Arm wrestle, gritty, dogfight. It could be a potential caught napping spot for Baltimore again. Give me the Bronx in this one and give me the unders. I think odds makers have adjusted far too great for Baltimore. I know they've got that high-flying offense. Deontay Johnson coming across. Doesn't matter. They're going to run heavy. They're going to try and chew the clock for the Broncos. I think they can stick with them and maybe cause a bit of an upset or a concern at least for Baltimore late in this one. But we'll take the Bronx with the points. Lions taking on the Packers. Nice little divisional dance coming up here. If you take a look at both teams in the North, holding 6 wins apiece. Packers, Jordan Love, he's playing with injury. He looks like he's trending to playing in this one. Still not going to touch him. I like Detroit. I'd be grabbing him on the money line before. You're going to pay even further juice the closer we get to kickoff. But there's levels to this thing, and I think Detroit right now, they're the best team in the conference. They're certainly the best in their division. Maybe even look towards a little win margin if you think they're going to keep it close enough. But I think the Lions, money line straight up, don't overthink it. Other storylines, money lines, spreads that we love. Cowboys going against the Falcons. Cowboys, a matter of time before they stand tall and show us who they actually are as a football team. I think we get that this week. Bengals with the biggest beatdown of Week 9. I think they're going to pump the brakes off the Raiders. 1 score, 2 scores. Joey Burrow, 250 plus yards. Doesn't matter if Higgins is healthy or not. He's got his guys. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Call of Duty just came out. That means it's a big win coming up over the Bears. I love the football Kyler is playing. Is it longevity, sustainable? Probably not. And the Rams, I love the Rams over the Seahawks coming up here in Week 9. So there's some of the best bets for the Sunday slate in the National Football League. Got you up to speed with everything you need to know in the association, but don't get it twisted. This weekend in sports, it should be all about the Breeders' Cup, the World Championships, and thoroughbred racing, as good as it gets. We can make money with all of them. That plus money hits all the same. And this is a collaboration again. Like, subscribe, share, It's double up. We're trying to double those dollars, make a stack, and then we can put the feet up and enjoy ourselves. Let us know your best bets coming into a new weekend of sports betting. Double up, double your money, and make a stack. I'm Dubs Edison. Best of luck. Let's bring them home.